There's blood all over the place. I just got assaulted and jumped.
Latham allegedly stabbed 52-year-old Timmy Durham to death.
He wanted to be TikTok famous.
Fame. Some individuals will do just about anything to have it. But what happens when people start to kill for views and likes? This is the story of Zachary Latham, the TikToker who murdered his neighbor just for fame. Zachary moved in with his grandparents in his late teens and right away began having a series of feuds with his neighbor. Enter the Durhams, a husband, a wife, and 2 sons. This first incident was the catalyst for the war between the 2 families. Zachary was allegedly driving at a high speed in their little neighborhood, and William Durham essentially complained to his grandparents about his reckless driving. His grandfather had a talk with him about it and got Zachary to apologize to Mr. William. But this apology wasn't a sincere one, and it ended up making the situation a lot worse. You see, Zachary was known for having a number of nice cars and showing them off on TikTok. He wanted those views, he wanted the likes, he wanted that clout. But guess what? His regular videos didn't really get him much online attention, like maybe several hundred views per post. Anyways, little arguments between both sides continued happening in the span of a couple of years while the tension kept rising, and sure enough, things were ready to erupt very soon. Zachary continued driving like he was in the movie Fast and Furious. Take it in, you're having a nice cup of coffee in a quiet neighborhood, and you got this guy smashing through the streets going over 100 miles an hour in his loud ass car, completely disregarding the safety of, well, everyone. This was enough for William's wife Catherine to one day confront Zachary about his antics, and instead of understanding the dangers of his actions, he took out his phone and started recording her and calling her a Karen.
What are you gonna do, Karen?
That's not my name, so get my name straight.
You okay, Karen?
This video went viral on TikTok and he got over 3 million views. At the time, the whole Karen meme was red hot, and since people didn't really know the backstory of this situation, it looked like Catherine was being a nosy neighbor who's always in the business of the poor and innocent, which really wasn't the case at all. Now, when he saw how viral that confrontation went, his thirst for clout grew. I mean, you could just imagine, he's getting a ton of views, people are taking his side cause they don't really know the full story, and to top it all off, his fans were egging him on to keep pushing their buttons. This guy was pretty much waiting all his life for this kind of attention, and a couple of days later, Zachary saw another opportunity to suck on the sweet nectar of that TikTok clout. He recorded another video of himself getting into an altercation with Durham's 21-year-old son, William Jr. Jr., fed up with Zachary's antics, ran up to the car saying, "Get out of the car, bro," but quickly got warned by Zach that he was armed with a knife. After he posted that video, he was telling people to help blow it up and make it go viral. It's very clear that Zach enjoyed doing what he was doing and loved the fame that he was getting off of it. On the other hand, his followers were intrigued and entertained. For them, it was very similar to watching a TV series, like they were waiting to see what was gonna happen next. Zachary knew that if he could constantly catch his neighbor's reaction on video, then his followers would continue to grow. Tensions were running high as things were getting more serious. In a later deleted video, Zachary posed with a gun and told the camera, "This is how you handle your neighbors." And in another one, he threatened to leak the Durham's address. Now, you may be asking, how come legal action wasn't taken to stop any of this? Well, they tried, but during the time of these incidents, the courts were closed due to a certain worldwide thing. However, all of this came to a tragic end one day on May 4th, 2020. Zachary allegedly swerved his pickup truck at William's 17-year-old son who was riding his bike. And this was the final straw. William pulled his truck in front of Zachary's truck to confront him while Catherine was recording the whole thing. The argument escalated very quickly and Zachary proceeded to throw an elbow at William's wife, pushed her back and knocked her phone out of her hand, then fled towards his house. Soon after, the entire Durham family went to confront Zach on his property, and their 2 sons were the ones who arrived first. Now, here's where Zach's wife Sarah Latham comes out with a phone in hand recording the entire incident, telling the 2 brothers that they better back up cause they're not gonna like what was coming out of the house. Threat or warning? Kinda sounds like a threat. Anyways, not long after, William and Catherine arrive at the scene, and Zachary then comes out with 2 knives and a stun gun. He fires the stun gun at one of William's sons and William lunges at Zach. Zach then proceeds to slash Mr. Williams in the right arm with his knife and quickly runs into his garage. Mr. William follows him, and that was when the unthinkable happened. The stun gun was fired numerous times and Mr. William was stabbed under the armpit, having his lungs punctured. This was the fatal wound that unfortunately took his life. Zachary then called the police and claimed that he was the one who got jumped and that the Durhams were the ones who came on his property with guns.
There's blood all over the place. I just got assaulted and jumped.
Are you the one that got stabbed?
No, that was the other victim, but I got beat up really bad and I had blood all over me.
All right, the people who did it to you, are they still there?
They came with trucks, came on my property with guns, and then when I fought them off, they drove away.
All right, how are you injured, sir?
My windpipe was crushed in and I got stomped out and choked by like 10 people.
All right, and where are you bleeding from?
I don't know, there's blood all over me. I don't even know if it's cut. There's blood all over our garage.
Okay. Now, the
They
person,
came in and said they had guns and they were going to kill us, and they came in my garage and attacked all of us. There was 4 people.
Can you believe the audacity of this kid? Not to mention that the Durham family actually got charged with assault and trespassing. And as for Zachary, he's facing reckless manslaughter charges, but pleaded not guilty, claiming that he was acting in self-defense. However, the Durham's lawyers insist that if Zachary was fearing for his life like he claimed, then he could have just went inside the house, called the cops, and waited for them to arrive. But he didn't, because his intent was to lure the Durhams onto his property and attack them while recording it for TikTok, just for views and fame. Now, what are your thoughts on this situation as a whole? Let me know in the comment sections below. At any rate, smash the like button, subscribe for a lot more content like this. As always, I love you beautiful people so much, and I'll see you guys next Saturday.